Hi, my name is Alan Frei. I'm an entrepreneur, and this is my solo podcast where I talk about things that actually work in business and in life. Today, we're talking about goal setting. Most important thing is having a clear goal for your personal life and for your business. Often it's really, really hard because it's not that easy. We have these lofty goals like we want to be happy, we want to be rich. But if you have concrete goals, this is the difference between a dream and the goal is having a concrete plan. If it's concrete and you can create a plan for it, it's not only a dream. The problem is if the goal is too lofty, like becoming rich or becoming happy, it's very hard to figure out the clear plan to it. That's why it's so important to have the goal settings right. When we start with the business goal setting, I often do this small test. I go into the company and ask the people, what is our goal? You can do that immediately. You can just ask the people you're working with and ask them, what is our goal? In 90 or 95%, people will give you different answers or they don't know what to answer. That's how you can see that it's not clear with the company what the goals are. The problem is that often companies fall back into quantitative goals, so numbers, revenue growth or profit. These are good goals because they're measurable, but often they're not important for the employees working in your company because it's too far away. They don't have direct impact. They can't do something directly to change that goal or get closer to that goal. I split the goals into two things, quantitative and qualitative. The quantitative, so the numbers are very, very important and they need to be very, very simple. Often companies have just revenue or profitability metric, but this profitability metric or this revenue metric needs to be very, very clear through the year. And there needs to be monthly updates where we are with that goal, because it's very unhelpful if you set the goal and you don't check in with the team. I fall into that mistake often, that we set the goal and then we don't check in on that goal on a monthly basis when we have our all hands meeting. We track that goal on a weekly basis, in an optimum case, or on a monthly basis, and just check in with the people. For example, at Amarana, we had very clear weekly goals. And when we saw that we weren't hitting those weekly goals, we had time to adjust quickly. Having these goals that are very, very clear and track them is very important. But this is only one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is the qualitative goal. Why is the company doing what the company is doing? That's more tangible for most employees in the company. It's more tangible for investors. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? We have an internal goal and we have an external goal. The internal goal, qualitative goal, is creating great stories with great people. We can measure that, but it is like a North Star for our company to see, okay, we create great stories with great people. We create content. That's the great story part. We talk about these ideas and we try to reach as many people as possible, create great stories, but with great people. We don't want to have people in our team that we don't want to work together with. We are very transparent and open with each other and we like to spend time with each other. That's our internal mantra. What is our external goal? Our external goal is making life easier while adding adventure. All the things we do, all the content pieces, the hacks, the products we build, the events we do is making life easier while adding adventure. That is our goal. If we create products, if we create content, it needs to make life a little bit easier. Just give this twist into life that adds a little spark to it. This is our mantra for customers, for the Alan Frei Company facing outside. Often you can find the external goal by just taking, we are helping our customers to XYZ. If you find, I'm helping my customers to do XYZ, we are helping our customers to do XYZ, then you find the external goal. And that's like the North Star the company is working towards too. If you have these two frameworks, it's very clear what the goals are and you need to repeat those goals over and over again. So everybody internalizes it. And when you go through the company, you ask them, what are our goals? And they will tell you, so we have a quantitative goal. This is our goal for the company. This is our qualitative goal, maybe external qualitative goal and internal qualitative goal. And then you have a clear framework. So there's this Google framework called OKRs, objective key results. I adapted that a little bit for me to make it a little bit more simpler and tangible. We call it input and output goals. The output goal is the thing that we want to achieve. For example, on a personal level, my output goal is from obese to Olympics. So from overweight going to the Olympics. I can't reach that output goal just with the snap of a finger. It's something that takes for a long time. In this case, from obese to Olympics is a project that takes for 3 years. And it's very hard if you have a goal and you try to measure that goal and it's an output goal. Because especially when it takes 2, 3, or even 10 years, it's very hard to measure it on a daily basis. The output goal is the big, lofty goal, the obese to Olympics. Very clear, but it's hard to measure on a daily basis. That's why you have input goals. And the input goals are the things you can do daily. So in my case, 1,800 calories a day, 180 grams of protein, 10,000 steps every day at the gym, and every day on the ice rink. These are my input goals, and these I can measure every day. So it makes it much easier for me to reach the big, hairy goal, the output goal, if I have a subset of goals that are input goals that I can track daily. After big goal, this is something that you will reach in a year or 2 or 3. This is the big bold goal, which is also, it needs to be measurable. Did it work or did it work? And then you have the input goals that are on a daily basis where you can track it daily and see if you're getting closer to it. These are the two frameworks I'm setting. So having on the company side, the quantitative versus qualitative goal and internal and external goal. And on the personal level, I have input and output goals. You can also use the input and output goals for your company where you have a big, hairy goal, a big one, and then you have sub goals, the input goals, where you can track them daily or weekly.